What is up, everybody? Welcome to your Tuesday night RSP Lounge live. We are here. And as you guys can see, I have someone here with me already. We're going to get into it. We might battle it out because, all of us growing up wanted to be him because we were all little kids watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he got the chance to play the White Ranger, young Tommy, back in the mid 90s. My God, I don't think we're old. I think we're seasoned. By the way, this is Mr. Michael Gotto. Did I say that right?
Gatto.
Gatto. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
I'm Puerto Rican, so I kind of sometimes throw a little accent in there, so I apologize.
No, you did fine. No worries.
Yeah, so I'm really happy to have you on. Thank you for being on the RSP Lounge. Oh, just a couple days before going live in Atlanta. How excited are you for that?
Dude, I am pumped. I can't wait to get out there. It's my first time at Ranger Stop and Pop, and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I had a couple friends that went and met you at a signing that you had in New York, and they were extremely happy to meet you. They say you were super cool, super pleasant. So that's always I mean that's always good to hear, right? Good things.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been such an honor to meet the fans. I'm having a blast doing it, and can't wait until I arrive in Atlanta Thursday night, and I'll be there Friday and Saturday. I do leave early Sunday morning to head back home to spend Father's Day with my four
Yes.
kids. But looking forward to just soaking it all in.
Yeah, let's not waste any time. I want to argue with you. How the hell did this happen? How did you even end up in with the cast? Like, this is amazing to me because I know of you because I followed, obviously, who what you were doing back then. We'll get into it. Obviously, you didn't stick to acting, but let's start at the beginning. How
Sure.
did this happen? How did the Power Ranger scene, like, please enlighten me because I want to
Yeah.
go back in time and try to beat you there.
Well, take you back. It's actually a fun story. So I'll make it brief. Basically, my dad knew Jason David Frank through martial arts, and he invited my dad down to the set one day when Jason was doing the show. They ran into some producers along the way, and Jason was telling the producers, "Hey, my buddy here has 3 sons." And the producers were curious, so they said, "Do you have a picture?" And my dad happened to have pictures of us on him, so they grabbed his information and the pictures. And about a month later, we got a call to audition for actually young Adam, the Black Ranger, initially because we had short hair at the time. But when we showed up, we had short hair in the picture. When we showed up for the audition, we had the long hair, the ponytail, the JDF. Style hair that everyone knows, the iconic haircut, and they switched us on the spot to audition for young Tommy. And so I went in and I read some lines. I did some martial arts. In fact, in the middle of my martial arts routine, I knocked over the camera in the audition, and I do think that's what made me stand out a little bit. And they were like, "Call that kid back who knocked the camera over." So about 2 weeks later, I got a call to read for the producers, and then they offered me the job. It was just a whirlwind. Had no idea I'd be acting ever. Was very much into school and education and wanting to go to college, and but had the amazing honor and blessing of playing not just young Tommy, but also young Jason David Frank on the White Ranger Kata video. And just such a blessing to do that, and will forever cherish it.
That's amazing. First of all, like how all those things lined up for you, and you just happen, to be at the right place. The right people because it's always this Hollywood thing is who you know, not what you know, right?
Oh yeah, had my dad not known JDF, I don't think I would have even had an opportunity to audition, or it just wouldn't have been on our radar. Wasn't something we were interested in or doing. In life at the time. We were in sports and in martial arts, but acting was not, at least not on
Yeah,
my radar. Yeah.
yeah. So you get the part. You're now enshrined in history. A show that 30 years later is still as, hot and relevant as it was back then.
Incredible.
How did that feel for you being on set with everyone, meeting the cast? Were you a Power Ranger fan, or were you just like, "Oh, cool, we know these guys. I'll do this. I'll act." How did that feel for you?
So that's the funny thing, and that's the part I left out of the story. When my dad came home to say, "Hey guys, you guys are auditioning for a part on a show called Power Rangers," we had never seen the show.
Oh my god.
We auditioned without ever seeing the show. So I think I maybe watched the show once I got the part, but it wasn't until then, and I didn't know much about it. When I first heard the name, I thought it was a Western of some sort because of the word Ranger. So my dad was like, "No, it's not that. It's something different." He tried to explain it, but yeah,
So
But at any rate, was still excited and excited to meet the cast and um, just had a great time.
that's amazing. Now I definitely have to build a time machine. Now I definitely have to go back in time, and now I definitely have to find a way to beat you there and grow my hair out. By the way, because that was also something that I did not have going on for me. I did not have.
Hey, it's
Uh,
never too late. You just
hey man, I'm trying right now. So
looks good.
you're fine. Thank you. You're on the cast. Uh, your friends, were they Ranger fans? Did they realize that you were on the show? Were you just a little bit older at the time and just kind of had not wanted to be, bothered with it?
No, I think I was the right age. I don't remember if my friends were into it. I think I would have remembered that. They thought it was cool, but I don't think anyone really knew how big it was really at the
Right.
time, um, until after I finished filming and my episodes aired. When I got back to school, because I missed a couple weeks in sixth grade and about 6 weeks of seventh grade, because I was filming. When I got back, actually, uh, my friends were supportive, but some of my classmates were kind of making fun of me for being on the show, believe it or not, and had to work through that, not let them get to me or bother me, and just be thankful to be on the show and yeah, just embrace it.
Well, guess what? Who's laughing now, baby? You got the last laugh because here you are. You're still touring the world and doing things because of what you did back then. I do want to recognize everyone that's on the chat right now. Everyone that's saying hello to both you and I. Thank you for being here with us on your Tuesday night
Yeah,
on the
that's so
RSP
cool.
Lounge.
I see you all. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, Shelly, Don, Just Jusway, Anaboko, Smiley Girl, Shelly Bradley, Jokwa, Wanda, all you guys. Thank you so much, Thomas Franco. Thank you for being here. This is awesome.
The man's a natural. I mean, I don't know why you're not doing television, but still. So you now, man, it's kind of crazy because you're right. To think about it back then, you would have classmates type, kind of like come around and tease. And I think it's because it's they aren't mature enough, right? We weren't mature enough to realize that's what, that's a job. That's something that we were all doing. And it's something that, obviously, at the time was a mega power. You guys were part of the that mid season with the Alien Rangers heading into Zeo and all that stuff. So that was kind of big. That summer, a lot of us that were fans of the show were really looking forward to what was going to happen and where was the story going. Um, were you aware in the back of your mind of that transition, how big that was for the kids and the people watching? Did you get like did you get fans basically out of it as a young kid?
You know, I don't think people would recognize me on the street, but I came to realize how big it was when we were brought back for our second season, and they signed us for more episodes. And they put in our contract the possibility of a movie, and they mentioned that our episodes were some of the highest rated shows. They had the highest ratings, out of a lot of the episodes that they had. So that was huge and pretty shocking for us.
Yeah, that's where I mean, the fact that that story arc moving from, or, from MMPR over to Zeo, that was crazy. What was happening. People wanted to know, how they were integrating the Alien Rangers and all that stuff. So, I mean, as a kid, I don't, you don't understand storytelling as an adult, right? You're just kind of going through the motions and feeling it like, oh my God, like, what's going to happen next? So tell me, you're riding high, you got these contracts. Did anything actually come about, maybe making a movie, or how did it just end? It's just weird.
Well, I think they had possible plans of incorporating the Young Rangers into the movie because of how popular the episodes were, but it just never came to fruition. Um, the transition, like you said, from Mighty Morphin to Zeo was huge, and our journeys back to our heritage, to find the Zeo crystals, that was a big deal and one of the most iconic transitions in Power Ranger history. So I think maybe they just wanted to kind of leave it on a high note like that. For me, I had the blessing of continuing on. As I mentioned, I played young JDF in the White Ranger Kata, so I got to do that as well. And then Saban hired me to do the pilot episode for the Big Bad Beetleborgs series that
Get
aired.
out of here.
Yeah, yeah. So I played
Wow.
Drew. I played Drew, the blue Beetleborg, in the pilot episode that they filmed to sell the costume,
Yeah.
and that was a blast as well. So
Are
I had,
you kidding
yeah.
me?
No, that,
I'm
yeah.
ending this interview right now. Just because, as a kid, again, Saban ruled the 90s. Saban had his
Oh, yeah.
hands in everything. X-Men, I mean, every cartoon, everything that you can think of that was coming from Japan, cartoon-wise, animation, and live action. He had his hands in it.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, if we look now, back then at what Saban had his hands in, you know, the man was kind of a little of a genius around that Fox Kids block back in the day.
Very much
Um,
so.
very
Yeah.
much so, yeah. So you get this call to be in Big Bad Beetleborgs, which was pretty fun to watch as well. The Jay Leno looking character, the ghost, was pretty funny.
Yeah.
What happened? Did just nothing come out of it after the pilot?
Well, they had a decision to make. The producers, because they they shared that they wanted me to play the the role of Drew as the Blue Beetleborg, but they decided against it because kids watching the show would recognize me as young Tommy, and that would be a conflict. So they had to go in a different direction.
That's crazy
Yeah.
because I mean, I remember back then JDF was on Family Matters, I think. He was on a show on a Friday night as well. A lot of the Rangers kind of like started doing different things. So like you would recognize them because of that. So I think that was just ridiculous that they would think, oh, that would mean more people would want to watch because they knew they could, know who this character is. Big Bad Beetleborgs didn't work out for you. What was your next step after that?
Um, I did just some minor background work on various things. One in particular was a music video for an Australian singer named Tina Arena. But then I went into high school and wanted to really focus on my education and being involved in school activities and being the first in my family to go to college. So that was my focus. I stopped acting on television. I did theater, drama on stage in high school. So I did a few different plays and musicals, which was a blast. I got to play Sonny in Grease, one of the greasers.
I
I
played
played.
Vince Fontaine.
No, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I had a,
Oh,
I
I
had
can
a,
see that.
yeah,
I
I
can
had
see
a,
that.
I had a, what do you call it? A scholarship for musical theater and drama. I loved theater. I mean,
Oh,
from
cool.
Grease to Your Good Man Charlie Brown and so on and
Oh
so
yeah.
on. I mean, it was such a blast back then to be part of
You'll
this
have to
stuff.
send me a video.
Oh my God. And
I'd
it's
love to see
funny.
it.
Now I can see myself like, oh my God, back then I was playing this radio host, and here I am, 20 years later, I'm online, doing all these
There you
the
are.
conventions and stuff. That's pretty cool. So the musical theater for you, did it go anywhere, the theater and drama?
No, I just it was a high school thing.
Did you sing?
I tried to. Yeah, yeah, I did.
Yeah, because I was in choir in high school. That's one of the things that got me into theater, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I was a bass, and
Oh,
I got into it, and I was just like, this is so cool. I met chicks, I met girls. That's how I met my girlfriend while I was in high school. So like, the football players and jocks can make fun of me all they want. I was still chilling, having a good time. But
yeah, yeah. No, it was. I had great experiences. In addition to Grease, I did. I played the Tin Man in The Wiz, and then I did a play. Um, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I played Jack Nicholson's character, the lead in that. So
wow,
that was a challenge as an actor, but a real fun show to do. Um, did some skits at different high school drama competitions, one of which we won first place and got to
nice.
perform at Paramount Studios and do stuff like that. But interestingly, my senior year of high school, speaking of singing, my brother and some friends and I decided to do the talent show, and we did a couple songs there, and people were like, that wasn't too bad. You guys should consider doing it. So we ended up starting an a cappella group,
Oh,
and I sang bass.
that's
So when you
so
said that, I was like,
crazy.
no way,
So
yeah.
when I was in high school, we had the Park Theater. You were in California, right? That's where you
Yeah.
grew up at. Okay, I grew up
Mhm.
in the East Coast in Jersey, right across the
Oh,
street
cool.
from New York. Like literally, I can see it from my
Oh, wow.
window. So we did the same thing. We had a little group. We used to cover and sing songs back in the day. Like it was
Yeah.
just, it was
Yes.
fun.
No, for sure, and that actually led to us performing different places, different churches, and we actually won a gospel competition that McDonald's and Disney put on. And so we got to sing at the
Wow.
Shrine Auditorium in LA, and then we did the national anthem at a Kings hockey game. That was a blast. That then led to us forming a band where we had
Wow.
four singers with harmony and three instrumentalists. We were called Sanctified, and we played different shows in LA. Did the Roxy, the Key Club, the Whiskey a Go Go, House of Blues, different churches all around California, Arizona, and just had a blast. So I'm just thankful to God
Yeah.
for all these amazing experiences that I've had to just be part of these cool things.
Are you still in the West Coast?
Still in Southern California, yeah,
Nice.
born and raised here. Have my family here. I'm a father of four, and my wife and I are celebrating 15 years of marriage next week. So
Congratulations. Round of applause for
thank you,
that.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome.
so we live in Seal Beach, California. Amazing little town here, beach town, and um, just truly blessed and enjoying
That's
it.
awesome. So let's fast forward because we got about 10 minutes here.
Okay.
What do you do now? What's Michael doing now that he broke our hearts when we were young and didn't let us play young Tommy? What's going on now with you, man?
So after high school, I went straight into college, and I went to Pepperdine University in Malibu, California. And there, I got my bachelor's in psychology. But my senior year, I was trying to decide what I wanted to do in life, and I took an education course, and I was thinking about the teachers and the one counselor in particular who had an impact on my life. And I said, I'd love to impact kids' lives in that way too. So I ended up graduating from college and going straight into a master's program, and got my master's in a teaching credential. Started teaching high school that next
Wow.
year. Taught high school language arts, English,
Did you ever
and
tell your students? Sorry to interrupt. Did you ever tell your students like, "Hey, I was an actor, bro"? Like, you probably saw me
I
when you
didn't
were
I
younger.
didn't I didn't have to. They Googled me and figured it out on their own. And so
Wow.
no
Okay.
no no joke, I would be in the middle of my syllabus, and I'd get I'm thinking it's going to be a question about the syllabus. So I get,
Yeah.
were you a Power Ranger? Totally off
I
topic,
love
totally
it.
like out of the blue.
Yes.
So no, of course I addressed that, and I never shied away from it. I've never been, embarrassed of it or regret it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not something that I just go around, as I introduce myself to
So you
people.
don't have a shirt with your face on it saying "I
I
played the White
don't.
Ranger." Okay, we're
I
gonna get you
don't.
that then for this weekend.
I do have a tattoo of that. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
well, that's the next one we got to get you. Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool. You went to become that's hard on its own, man. So,
Yeah, so
that's
I was
awesome.
a high school teacher, and then I became a high school administrator, assistant principal,
Yeah.
and became a principal of a middle school. Did that and really enjoyed
Wow.
those experiences. And for the last 6 years, I've been in human resources for a school district. So I've been hiring teachers, principals, and
Sure.
support staff. So it's been great.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, man. Teaching is people like yourself who get into teaching. Jay, who's in the chat as well, who's a teacher. Like that is such a thankless job. You got to put up with a lot of kids, whether they're
Oh, it's
good or
great.
bad. It's very very tough sometimes, and I have close friends that are teachers now, and it's just hard for them to see sometimes how kids come in. Like they can tell stuff is wrong and it's hard.
Yeah.
Today's kids is not like when you and I grew up.
No,
I'm
that's for
40 years
sure.
old. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 40.
I just turned 40 in April.
God bless. There you go. And we look great, by the way, guys, in the chat. I mean,
Yeah.
goddamn. So yeah, so we didn't grow up with shooter drills. We didn't grow up with any of that. We grew up with the fact that we had an occasional fire drill,
Stop,
or
drop, and roll. That
or
was
a
it,
or a
right?
fighting class. Get out of here. Go to the principal's office. Like
Yeah.
kids today have it so much tougher, and I commend you for that because you have a job that right now is just every time I see something in the news, I have a 23 and a 20-year-old. My heart breaks every time I see something. I'm like, God, like what the hell, man? It's just crazy.
No, it's sad. The mental health challenges are
Yes.
increasing more and more. It's really sad. And we saw that pre-pandemic, but we're seeing it even more so now that we're coming out of the pandemic. And I'm just my hats are off to all of our teachers and classified employees who work day in and day out directly with our students, because that's really where it's at. And it's a blessing to support them as they do that work.
For sure. And the little ones too, like we think you have little ones, I have little ones. Like I think about all that stuff and I'm just like, oh God, like do they really need to go to school? Can I just homeschool them? I'll just download the stuff online, and just and just homeschool them. But tragically, we lost JDF. How did the news hit you? How was that all like? I mean, you obviously your parents knew him, so how was
Yeah,
that for you?
that's rough, man. It's still hard to believe. It's still surreal to this day. I got the news. I was walking out of the gym actually that day that the news broke, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought it was just
Yeah.
one of those wrong stories out there, and I just it hit me hard. I had seen JDF that previous August at Power Morphicon in Pasadena, California.
Mm.
Um, and that was I hadn't seen him in a long time, but he was the one that actually encouraged me to go to that con in particular and to start doing cons altogether. And so it's he's the reason I'm out here doing all this and meeting the fans now, because he called me up and encouraged me to do so a couple years before the pandemic, and then the pandemic struck. But his death has obviously
Yeah.
impacted so many of us. I wish I had more time with him. I wish I was able to do more signings with him, because I think that would have been special, not just for the two of us, but also for the fans. But I'm just going to try to do my part to continue to celebrate his legacy and represent the Power Ranger legacy that he has and the impact that he's had on so many people
I love
around
that.
the world.
I love to hear that. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be celebrating his life at Ranger Stop and Pop this weekend.
That's
I
right.
hope, yeah, anyone watching this right now, I hope that if you can't make it, to the con this weekend, I will be going live on the RSP Lounge stage Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll be I think I might have you on the schedule for Saturday. I'm not sure. I gotta look, but it's going to be a revolving door of different celebrity guests. Like Michael will be coming over to the desk by me. We'll walk around the floor. We'll show everyone what's going on. It's a big event. It's gotten so much bigger. I am so glad you're a part of it because you deserve it. Like you were part of the history of a show that 30 years later, it does not feel dated. It does not feel old. I can tell you for a fact that kids turn it on and they're hooked from episode 1, season 1 on. It's crazy, like that's it's still as good as it is today as it was 30 years ago.
No, for sure. I fully appreciate and recognize just the magnitude that this show is. I mean, how many shows can boast that it's they've been on for 30 years and they're timeless and they cross generations like this. It's really incredible, and to be a part of Ranger Stop and Pop is just an honor. So I want to thank Karen Ashley and Nakia Breeze and Michael Bioni for having me. It's an honor to be there, and I am loving meeting all of the other casts from the various seasons. It's so much fun to meet them and all the fans that come out. So if you're coming to the show, if you're coming to the event, I'd love to meet you out there. I invite everyone to come and have a great time.
Yes, he said it best. Guys, it's going to be an incredible show. Again, we're going to be broadcasting live from the Ranger Stop and Pop channel here. I'm also going to be going live on my TikTok. I'll try Instagram if I could even get away with it. But I'm going to be broadcasting the show to multiple different channels so that many people can see what they're missing this weekend, which is going to be great. You're going to be there Friday and Saturday, so it'll be fun.
And if they don't come, they're going to miss out on Dawn, who's going to be there. I see that Dawn is Smiley Girl. I met Dawn in New York.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. She's amazing. My right-hand woman.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I can't wait to see them again. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, we're going to she helps me out with everything. So she's going to be pretty much producing me while I'm on the live stage. Cool. So we're going to have a great time. Michael, where can people follow you and keep up with your story and where you're going to be at?
Yeah, so I'm fairly new to social media. Just started my accounts, within the last 6 to 8 months.
You gotta get you dancing on TikTok. That's the big thing now. From what I hear, all the kids
not
love
on
it.
TikTok. I have an Instagram and a Facebook, and they're both. My handles are Michael R. Gotto. Got to have the R in there.
Yes.
And yeah, please come and follow. I try to post updates about cons and signings and different events coming up, but I also have a lot of photos from the show, behind the scenes photos on my accounts that you can see and just take part in the experiences that I had.
That's so amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, this wraps it up for your Tuesday night RSP Lounge live here with Mr. Michael here, who played the White Ranger, who I'm still jealous of. I can't go back in time, but if I did, I would grow a ponytail first.
Hey, there you go.
Can't wait to see you all here. If you can't make it again on the chat, Ranger Stop and Pop. If you happen to be able to make it, please stop by the RSP Lounge live stage and come say hello. Michael, thank you again. I appreciate you. If you could just stick around with me while we end things here. You guys know you can follow me everywhere by just searching for Alexis Cardoza, _ Alexis Cardoza on Twitter. And like the little scribbly thing says at the bottom here, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram. I love you all. Thank you for always supporting the show and for supporting the great actors like Michael, who gave us, parts of our childhood, basically. So I appreciate
thanks for having me. No, yes, thanks for having me. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, guys. I will be seeing everyone Friday. Love you all. Stay hyped.